1 minute. Let me just go over here. Gotta get a couple of things today that's happening. Are we live on YouTube yet?
Yes, we're live now.
Perfect, perfect. Well, we have 1 minute. We're letting everyone in the call, getting everything set. This is Wednesday, geez, December 17th. It is going to be a magical December. Now, my next two calls are on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I don't know how much attendance we're going to get.
I think that's
Um,
yeah. I belong to a couple of networking groups and they said, we're just calling it quits for the year. So
I think so. I think I'm going to talk to the other coaches, but I know for myself, those are two busy days for, especially on Christmas Eve for me, for
yeah,
prepping for Christmas Eve, right?
I
Um,
think you could get away with it, but that's your call. And just
I was like, I don't know if we're going to have a lot of attendance that day, just
everybody's in chill mode.
well, I don't know about chill mode. It's cook mode for my house, but it's going to be baking central, cooking and prepping and making sure because we host Christmas Eve and Christmas. Um, so it's lots of fun stuff happening. Do you have any great plans for the holiday season?
Mine's quiet. We we have because I've got a small family, so daughter, granddaughter, son-in-law. That's about it. The rest of the family lives uh, spread around the country. So
No, there you go.
they'll,
I like that.
I perfectly fine with me.
I know. Well, we're preparing for the new year. I am super excited because I got the big ass calendar from Jesse Eisner. It just arrived. I'm going to be putting that up in my home somehow on the wall. And I'm going to start that planning. And so I already know this year when I have conferences coming up, and you all should know this too. I already know my non-negotiables when I have trainings. So it's you know, for those who need to have your CEUs for your license, this is my year to get that, right? So I'm doing a CEU this today for 3 hours of continuing education to get that taken care of because this is that time where it's in between time, clients aren't really busy. And it's great time for me to get that done and taken care of. But on the big ass calendar, you set up your non-negotiables. Your birthdays go up, your family vacations go second, then your trainings or conferences go third. And that's how you start to plan out your year. And it's 365 days in one look. It's my first time actually buying the calendar and not using like a desk calendar by month. So I'm excited to use it because I want to make sure that I do not book things on the important days that are my non-negotiables for the year. Um, because
That
that's
takes
that's
up a that takes up a whole wall, doesn't it? In your room, in a
I
room.
have a whole wall. I'm looking right at it, window to window. I was gonna put a TV on it, and I'm like, well, instead of putting a TV on it, I'm gonna put my big ass calendar. So I'm going to be putting that up, which is really exciting. And I'll get that taken care of today. I'll try and video a little bit of it so I could show you how big it is. And my husband's like, "Are you sure it's going to stay on the wall?" I'm like, "We're going to get it up there. Don't you worry." So we have that happening. And then this is the time of year when you're working in senior living that things things are happening with your clients. I know we didn't start out with any wins. Does anyone have any wins that they'd like to share for the day? Big, small, whatever the case is. I mean,
No.
no, it's a time of year where there's not much happening. I will say that I did post a non-real estate post on my social about a local restaurant that I did not know existed. And I got a heck of a lot of views on it. So I was really happy on that. And if you follow folks like I do for your social media, like I follow Gary V, Rory Vander, Roy Vander, and a few others, they say to throw stuff in your social that has nothing to do with what your quote unquote mission is or doing. That's why they say that they like to see some personal stuff happening on your social and to throw some random stuff out there to trick the algorithm. I did learn something this week, and part of this video that I put out, I used and applied what I learned. What a thought, right? So sometimes you have to follow the advice of those who are giving you the advice. So I'm going through, I always go and post on my social. I already have a song in mind if I have a reel. How many of you do that? I'm always like, oh, I'm going to post a song on my reel. And I want it to be Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, right? Because that's a theme that I have in my head. Well, the algorithm is so smart on Instagram and Facebook, or if you're like me, I like to use edits, which posts to both of them, and then edits is part of Instagram and Meta. And it provides you with a list of songs. It says for you. Those are songs that the social media platforms are pushing out. I've ignored those songs, which is hysterical. I've ignored them and I went to my own damn song that I wanted to put up. If it was something about a coffee shop, I wanted to put a coffee shop song on. Well, I went and posted and followed the advice of the social media guru that I was listening to. And voila, guess what happened? It pushed my reel right up to the top and it went viral. So I was like, what a concept. So simple. We all can do it. And it told me that my reels get 140% more views than my stagnant photos. So I was like, you know what? Great concept. It gave me feedback. So you have to listen as we're posting things online. We have to actually see, is the stuff we're posting just content? Who is it reaching? How are we engaging them? And then what are these social media platforms actually teaching us when you go into your professional dashboard, which y'all know how to get there to your professional dashboard? Okay, I see some heads nodding because I don't want to speak a different language. Um, but when we go into our professional dashboard, it tells us those insights. It tells us what content is working, what's not, and what your reach is. And so every now and then I take a look at it. Also, if you have your creator page up for your social, because I have a personal page where I post stuff about my family, and then I have my business page. I got a message this morning that says, congrats, because you've posted high quality content, we're showing it to more people. So
Mm.
that was a first that I've gotten. It
Was that on
said
your business page?
on my business page. So it
Okay.
says, we're helping you reach a wider audience. And it shows me high content and the actual examples of, let me see if I can do this here. Hello. It shows me the examples of which posts helped me achieve that. So you can do this as well. Now, why I'm doing this is because I post a minimum of 1 to 2 times a day. That's me. I am I'm very systematic and I'm going to get more systematic in 2026. How many of you have like a book, a notebook, or something that you follow every day? I do. Now I have a whole Power Hour content page from the organization that I'm part of. And my organization helps me figure out every day what I'm doing. Am I reaching out to my buyers and sellers every day via text, message, whatever the case may be? Now, if I just reached out to my seller yesterday and told them, hey, this was our recap from the showing that we just had, right? I'm not going to reach out to them again today with no update. So when I have a brand new listing, I reach out to them every day for the first 10 days to keep them involved, right? And these are for my senior clients. Some of them like text, some of them don't. Some of them I have to call. But then after that, I let them know, okay, 10 days have passed. I'm not going to call you every day. I just want to keep you in the loop. I'm going to call you every other day or every third day. And I set the expectation. There's nothing worse than your senior clients worrying. I haven't heard from Felicia. What's happening? What's going on? I'm a huge analytics person. I love to see where the 42 places that I market to online digitally, where they line up for my clients in viewership. And then how many of those views turned into unique views and then into clicks for them. The goal for me is to sell their home. Working with your senior clients, this is our goal, is to get listings, right? Well, the listing is only as good as if you can sell it. And this year has been unprecedented for a lot of people because it's so unique. So, as we've all heard, 2025 was the year of the snake in Chinese New Year, which to me is shedding of the skin. So, we're shedding all that bad juju off. And 2026 is the year of the horse. Horse is powerful. You know, it's not timid. It's ready to go. So it's like your breakthrough year is how I take it. So as we go through, you need to have some systems in place. And we have to be able to be in communication with our senior clients because, as we all know, if we don't communicate with them, they're going to think the worst. Now, imagine if you were home because you broke your leg and it was your driving foot, right? So now you're home. And what are you doing to recuperate? Shout out some of the things that you would do if you were recuperating at home from like a broken leg.
I'd be
Work
watching lots
wise,
of movies.
Yeah, you're sitting on the couch, right?
yeah.
Can't really do much. You're sitting around. Can't sit at a desk because you have to keep your foot elevated, right? So you got to sit on the couch. You got to sit in a chair with your foot elevated. What happens to your brain when you're doing that?
You
Doom
start
and
worrying.
gloom.
Yep, you're ruminating on every little thing.
Yeah.
Every little thing becomes a big thing, right? Every time the phone rings and it's an annoying caller or a spam call, you're hyper focused on that. You're like, why the F are these people calling me 25 times a day? I'm on the do not call registry. This is what our clients are doing. So if we don't communicate with them, they're thinking the worst. As we retire, as things that we've had control of, which this is what happens to our senior clients, this is going to happen to everyone as they age and don't work anymore. And they are going into retirement, their hobbies become their focus. Then once they're told by their doctor, you can't go on the golf course every day. It's bothering your sciatica. It's bothering this. Now they have to limit that, right? So their choices of what they can do start to get limited and limited. And then the doctor tells them, nope, you can't drive anymore, right? And we've all seen this happen. And so once things start getting taken away from them, all of these things that are simple tasks or a simple conversation become a really big thing. And I'm bringing this up to you because during the holidays, some of our seniors don't have a lot of engagement And as we're working with them to get that home sold, they're going to start ruminating on everything that you say. Now, you could tell them that this week the market's been on fire. We know that the past year has been slow. What word do you think they're actually going to capture from that sentence?
Fire.
Fire and slow.
Iron and
And
slow.
they're going to say, my goodness, this is the wrong time for me to sell. I'm not putting my house in the market. I don't want to sit there. These are the things that are going through their brain. I know this because I've lived this. You have to be really careful with the words that you choose because words matter. You know, we've all worked with Paul before on that, but now we have to be even hyper focused on this because we're entering in a new year, which we're all excited about, but there's a lot of uncertainty, right? Interest rates are starting to drop. We're seeing that. The market's got a little uptick down here. Certainly not enough that I want, right? I'm starting to see a little bit more showing requests on our 6 properties that we have live right now. And we have to make sure that we're communicating that to our clients. And our senior clients need a lot of hand holding. So that's when your concierge white glove service comes into tact. How many of you are doing this on a regular basis?
Contacts. Yeah.
Yep. And on top of all of this, there's the naysayers out there that are going on social media that are still saying everything is doom and gloom. And for our referral partners, we have to keep them up to date with what's happening within our
Mm.
market and what's going on with our current local, hyper focused local market, right? Because they'll say, oh, Felicia's busy enough. She doesn't need another listing. I'll work with a new partner. So you have to keep top of mind for all of them. And that's something that's really important and crucial for this time period. And so use this downtime because not many of us are as busy as we were 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Mm.
And it happens every year. It's the
Yep.
holidays. I always use this time of year to call all of my referral partners to make sure did they get my little gift thing that I sent out to them in the mail. And then I let them know a little bit about what's happening with our current clients and then our future clients that are coming up and that our team is here to help them in a sense, right? But I always ask what their struggles are. And I spoke to one senior living community that's been doing great with move-ins. And I talked to them yesterday. And the first thing that she said when I said, how is everything going with the community? She said, you know what? We had 3 deaths last weekend. And she's like, I know I've been in this industry for 20 years. I know it's cyclical. I know what's happening. But she said, you know what my silver lining was? That they were couples and it was just one spouse that passed. And so I didn't lose the room. And she said, how sad is that I think that way? And I was like, it's not sad at all. Because you know what? When you
Reality.
work in senior living, it's your reality. Exactly.
Yep.
And it's about keeping those doors open and making sure that you're not losing that room.
Yep.
And I said, yeah, it would have negatively affected you worse if they were single folks in each room. So you could make that up with no problem. And then we talked about some strategies on what we can do between now and the end of the year to help with that. Because I've spoken to about 3 seniors right now. One who wants to wait to explore senior living options until the first week of January. And so I looped her in on that and said, hey, I'll be taking them to come and take a look at your community, their husband and wife, and they want to move into independent living, right? So I'm giving her some positive news because right now it's a really slow year for a lot of folks. Are any of you experiencing that when you're calling around or visiting your senior communities?
I've had kind of mixed, a mixed bag. I've had some that are, pleased with where their numbers are. Surprisingly, in the Savannah area, there aren't any wait lists. There are openings all over the place. So that's a good thing. But I did have one, good referral partner, and he lost six just before Thanksgiving. So that's that's a lot when you're talking about an 80 room community.
Sure is. Sure is. Anything over two is a lot. Now I did make her feel better because I told her my story that we lost 17. My first senior living sales position. Um, there were 17 deaths in that community in 1 month from the neurovirus. And
Wow.
that was not fun. The state came in, what's going on? What's uh, your quality control? What is your hazmat situation? And the neurovirus, remember when the neurovirus went around and it was all over the cruise ships and whatnot? That's when all
Mhm.
this happened. That was a long time ago, it seems. And so the staff got it, everybody got it. It's terrible. Okay. Now, just it
Yeah,
just go ahead.
I
Yeah.
just recently had someone. So the majority of the ones that I'm talking to are
Mhm.
full or maybe have one opening. But I just recently talked to someone who had 3 deaths in 3 months. So 9 deaths over a 3 month period of time. And she was kind of freaking out. So we brainstormed
Sure.
on some kind of events that they could do to try to get people interested to come into the community. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even think that you could do this for me." So I felt like that was good that she sort of had that epiphany that I could help with that type of thing. So,
And now you've become a valuable asset to her
right,
more than anything else in this world.
right,
And that's where I want all of you to be
right.
because it's providing solutions to folks in a time when there are no real solutions. And right now, when someone does go through that, no matter how big or small that is, and if anyone's ever, the term is, I can't close my back door meaning literally the back door where people are going out because they don't take them out the front door, so to say, when they expire. That's another word that's used in senior living. Expires when they pass away. Backdoor is that people are dying and moving out. Um, and so you want to come up with solutions that's going to help them. Now, I know that Geraldine just asked, what are some of the events that you had mentioned to her?
Um, we just kind of brainstormed together. And one of the things that we had talked about is they do a lot of events internally for their residents. And we
Mm-hmm.
talked about those events and I asked why they weren't opening it up for outside people because they were already bringing in the magician. They were already bringing in, all the different stuff. And so that kind of spiraled into a conversation with their activities coordinator. And what I ended up doing with them, it was National Princess Day. They had a magician come in and this was a real reach, but this is what they wanted. So I literally brought this book and did like 3 tips from this book on what you can do to help with Alzheimer's, and then I gave the book away.
Oh,
So
I love
What was the
that.
book?
Reversing Alzheimer's by Dr. Heather Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a
I
great.
almost always go in with a book, but because we were talking about, I don't remember even the name of it, Everyday Magic for, cognitive health or something like that. So it was, I mean, I know you've warned in the past, Felicia, about you don't ever want to, feel or provide information that's not in your area of expertise, but it was things like flossing your teeth, drinking enough water, all things like that that felt pretty innocuous. And people were like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah, I've always known I should drink water, but flossing." And so it started some conversations and some questions. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. It was good.
And see,
Also,
and what you're doing is you're citing the book as where you're getting the resource from.
right, right.
That's a big key thing. Not that
Mhm.
you're citing it from memory, you're citing it
Right,
from somewhere. And you're saying, this is where I got the information from,
right.
which is a great thing. And that helps you to be able to say, okay, I'm going to give this book away. So that's fabulous. Congratulations. I love that.
And then I was also invited to just through this conversation, she kind of separate from, I mean, as a volunteer, she is part of a Parkinson support group at the YMCA, which is right across the street. And she asked if in the new year I would be interested in coming to one of those groups, just to be there as a resource as people are talking about making changes in their housing. And I'm like, absolutely. So, yeah, we'll see what the new year brings.
That's amazing. And you're
Mhm.
setting yourself up as the go-to person for her.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that is where you want to be. That's really
Well,
important.
yeah. And it's been it's I appreciate having my marketing background. So when I asked her, gosh, I mean, I think they're at 82 units or whatever. So losing nine was, a big deal. But when I asked her what her biggest concern was, there is a big, huge one being built across the street, assisted living. And she said the care and the flavor is going to be very different because they're big, huge, gorgeous resort style, going to have 200 beds where this one is going to, so I'm like, let's talk about messaging about, how you can get more one-on-one care and being in a smaller environment may be a good fit for you and, some of that kind of stuff. So this next year she wants to do more events. So when that one opens up, she's top of mind for people. So yeah, it was a good conversation.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. How many of you are taking notes today?
Hey,
Always.
so I'm listening. Oh, it's okay. I'm catching something coming down with something. I don't feel great. And I gotta go out and show houses. Oops, let me close this. Unmute my.
Nope, I think we lost you for a second. Started to mute again. Geraldine, are you there?
No.
I'm here. No, I was answering the phone.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was like, wait, we lost her. We lost her.
You didn't lose me. I realized I was not on mute when I picked up the phone.
That's okay. So we're just kind of brainstorming a little bit for the end of the year. What this is going to look like for you, wrapping up through the end of the year, how you can connect with senior living communities. The biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is their tours and their flow of people coming through the business, through their business, through their community is low right now. And this is nationwide that I'm seeing all over. Not too sure why. No one has an answer why. But this is a great time to utilize this time for all of your partners to let them know you're here for them and to start brainstorming with them, asking them what their specific challenges are, because it's going to set you up for 2026. Huge. It's going to
I
be
think one of the
huge.
things I learned is that there was a huge spike in activity right after Thanksgiving when
Huge.
families got to see
Mhm.
what mom and dad are really up to or not up to. And
Happens here.
I've been talking to my networking groups about that. I said,
Happens
watch.
every year. And I've told you guys that the biggest times of the year normally when people move in is between now and the New Year's because their loved ones come down and they see what bad shape they're in.
Yeah,
Anyone can mask a 15-minute phone call. Oh, mom, you
they get
getting
good at
food? Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Oh, yeah, I got a delivery out. Yep, I got everything. And it's different when you see it and you
Yeah,
see if they're dressing appropriately, they're wearing the same clothes 3 days in a row, not showering, not taking care of themselves. It's more than just the appearance of the home and their pantry. It's so much more because they get to lay eyes on them and see them. So it's a big piece of the puzzle. And that's when all of this really starts to unravel. Um, Another thing, because right now we're coming into the winter season, right? The winter solstice is upon us in a few days. Every time I had a blizzard, I had move-ins galore,
Mm,
especially if power went out. It's no different than
mhm,
when we have hurricanes down here, right? Hurricane season,
mhm.
I always pick up about 10 listings every hurricane season. And it's the
Wow.
time that they are like, I'm not going through another hurricane. I'm not going to worry about my roof this year, right? I'm not going to worry about if I lose power and don't have a generator. Well, it's the same for blizzard season, snow season.
Mhm.
I mean, look, it's bitter cold up north, right? How cold is it, Cindy, up there right now?
Well, actually, yesterday we got up to 33, but last week we were like -6, -16, and got
Yeah.
a lot of snow too. Yeah. Felicia, total side note, but I felt like I wanted to share this when you talked about hurricane. So my dad was down in the Tampa area and he had been in the hospital and was making a move to transitional care. And it just so happened the day he was making his move was the day of Hurricane Ian.
Mm,
So they moved him. We weren't allowed to be a part of I mean, normally we would have picked him up and driven him over and been part of the whole process. So instead of getting an orientation, he's surrounded by windows being pounded with, with the boards and everything. And yeah, needless to say, it was not very good because he didn't have that transition. Poor guy in the middle of all this chaos. So I have experienced a hurricane. It's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it's not fun. Um, and so that is definitely something that is a whole unique, different experience. But you have the same things that happen where you are, and so that's something that's really important to know. So this is great
Mhm.
opportunity for them to understand that. Heather Gorney said, "Question: I know this is like a golden time and opportunity to be in the market, which I am. I would love some ideas to utilize getting into a new market, new state, Southern." I
Yeah,
don't
I
understand the question.
yep.
Yeah.
I actually moved and relocated. I am
Oh.
now, yes, girl. I am now in Louisiana. So I am working on getting my license down here, but being with, I've got the referral partners and I'm jumping right in. But I want to use this obviously as like a golden opportunity to start creating or recreating my bod down here. So
Mm.
I just any ideas how to, because I always get choked up on those phone calls. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I, I'm like, I think I'm overthinking it and I'm just over intimidated because not only is it, trying to make a new partner, but it's also new area. Like I don't really have any references yet, you know what I mean? So that's kind of any input. And I know you're the you're my go-to for that.
Oh, there you go. So, all right, the easiest way, because we have a lot of people who relocate down here to Naples, okay? The easiest way for you to go and find and meet people is figure out where there's a network group for you to be in. I know Paul calls them not working groups, but I utilize them in a different way. So I'm going to teach you what I do and what I teach all my people who move down to the Southwest Florida market from all over the country. Okay. You go to these networking groups, you have to set intentions upon going and say to yourself, I'm going to leave with 5 appointments. This brings you in on a level playing field with them so that you could meet people for your bod. Now, the easiest one to find is a senior niche networking group, right? That's going to be the easiest one. So you're going to call, go online, Google senior living communities networking and see what pops up. And your goal is to get there. Even if it is a happy hour at a community. And I don't care if you don't know a single soul. You show up, you smile, you just meet one or two people, you start a conversation with them. at a happy hour event. There's a lot of holiday parties happening right now, and you're going to do some card collecting. So when you collect their card, you're also going to follow up with them to then have that bod conversation, right? But you got to get on a level playing field with them. And you have to find people who you feel comfortable around networking.
Okay.
So the
Yeah, because
Felicia,
fastest
I
way to, yes.
Felicia, I did exactly the same thing. 24 when I got to Savannah. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
anybody here, and the first thing I did, I joined the Savannah Chamber and went to the
Yeah.
first event. And there were I was surprised that it was a coffee chat kind of thing, but there were no realtors in the room. I was expecting five or six of them. There were nobody. There was nobody, and I made my 30-second pitch. And
Yep.
after that, I had people come up to me wanting to talk with me, and they were from various
Yeah.
industries. One was from a assisted living facility community, and the other one was from a medical marijuana distributor, but and a couple others and some financial planners. And I just
Mm-hmm.
built it from there, and then I got connected through those groups with other, morning and evening networking groups, and I'm in a couple of them right now, and that's the way I've just done one-to-one meetings with everybody after some initial meetings,
That's how
find out
you
a
have
little
to
bit more
utilize
about
it.
them.
Now, the biggest thing when you talk about your elevator pitch, I'm going to give you, Heather, the easiest way for you to role play with me right now a little bit, right? And don't want to put you on the spot. So if you're not in a spot that you can do it, just let me know.
no, you're good. I'm in the car, but it's all
Okay,
like
good.
I planned for this.
So I'm going to be Heather. You're going to be the networking group. It's my 30-second elevator pitch. And you're going to say, welcome, Heather. Just introduce me, and I'm going to give you my pitch for
All
how
right,
I would go into a new area.
all right, this is Heather Gorney, and this is a new member that just relocated down here. She is a senior specialist in relocation and downsizing. And tell us what else you got, Heather.
Oh, thanks so much for that awesome introduction. I am so excited to move to a new area. Yes, my goal is to help seniors with right sizing and selling their long-time home, avoiding capital gains, decluttering, downsizing, all the things. But my goal in meeting all of you right now is to get to know you and figure out how I can help support your business and referrals. So if I haven't had a chance to meet you, come see me over here. I'd love to exchange some contact cards, information, and get to know how I can support you and your business. Done.
Perfect.
Done. I'm going to tell you, you will be flogged with people. Everybody will come around to you because you care about their business. And I've done this multiple times and it works. Everybody in the room wants to get to know me. And so I'm invited to 4 networking groups. I go to one consistently. Another one I go occasionally. And one I really don't go that often. So I send my team member to it, right? Because I want to make sure that we have a presence because there's only
Yeah.
so much time in the day. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go to 3 networking groups in 1 week. I mean, you have to work, you have to lead generate, right?
Yeah.
And so when I do, like I popped into one about a week and a half ago, and I'm like, hey, there's a lot of new faces in the room. Know everyone here. I was like, I'm so excited to get to know all these new people. We have to figure out how I can help you get more referrals. I'm like, so if I haven't met you, let's get together. Let's do a Zoom or have coffee. And then everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, here's my card. Here's my card.
Okay.
So you
Perfect.
position yourself as a person who wants to collaborate with them. And even if they're another agent that's in there, don't get intimidated by them. Just be like, oh, I'm so excited that you're here. I'd love to know what's coming up in your pipeline. Do you have any new listings coming up? Because I have some folks who want to relocate just like I did. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. It just shows that you want to collaborate with them. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I do with other agents that I see in networking groups. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you, Dave. What's in your pipeline? What's happening? Tell me what's coming up. And then they tell me what's coming up in their pipeline. And we look at it as a way, and then they say, hey, what do you have coming up in your pipeline? I'm
Yeah,
like,
because you're collaborating. Yeah.
yep, it's a collaboration over competition. And I
Yep.
take
Yep.
that awkwardness away. You ever see it's like a standoff. You should do a Sora, what is it, a Sora on this. It's like a
Yes.
standoff. Two realtors are in the room and you're like, what do you want? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Here's
I will. I will. I'm gonna have, I'll send it over to you.
yes,
That's so
I
funny.
don't, you're gonna have to teach me how to use that.
Oh,
You have
girl, I
no
got a
idea.
whole class I could do.
Oh
What
yes,
is
like
it you're
It's
talking
so fun.
about?
So
the
the
AI.
Sora app, yep. Yep.
Sora?
Yep, Sora. I don't know if they're still like making people do the invites, which by the way, I can totally send invites if anybody's interested. Do some Google searches, find out what Sora is. You can create your own AI. It looks just like you, and you can do videos. And if you guys are Facebook friends or follow me at all on social media, um, yeah, that's what Felicia's referencing. I have an AI and I have been utilizing her to do my marketing because I obviously cannot always be on camera 100% all the time. And we all know how judgmental the world can be. So when you're posting some of those videos, I am not comfortable myself in always not being 100% camera ready. I know that I will get to a point where I don't care. However, right now, I'm not that confident. So my AI is always on point and she is always professional. So, yes, if anybody is interested, I can help you with Sora.
Yes, please do. I am. I'm interested. I tried Hey Jen and I didn't
Okay.
like it came out.
No, girl, that's
But
and I've been looking for something to train on. So thank you for the feedback,
yeah,
honestly.
let's message each other because I'd love you to do a training for everyone. I think y'all would like that, right? Because
Yeah.
she's using it at a high level, and teach us how to use it.
I
But
love it.
the whole
Yeah.
point of doing this, and what I was saying earlier was, I time block every day for what I'm doing, and you know what
Yeah.
I end up doing? Majority of my day right now, admin stuff.
Yeah.
And so now, no, 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 no. 2026, it's not about time blocking throughout the day. It is time blocking an entire day for my admin stuff, an entire day for my lead gen, an entire day to go out and project manage my listings because we have a whole project management section of our listings that we have, and
Yes.
make sure that I'm spending the dedicated day doing that so I don't get distracted
That's
because
exactly
I'm
how I
like,
feel. Yeah.
we all
Trying
get
to
this.
time block the blocks throughout the day drives me crazy because I do. I'm the same way. The other
Yes,
thing I would like to do is really work on training some type of assistant because I have not got there yet either. And I know
that's
that the
hard.
easiest, yeah, the easiest and the most cost-effective one, I mean, obviously right now is going to be a VA, but again, you really need to learn how to do that before learn how to train one before you go out and get one.
Yes. And that's a hard thing, but at the same point in time, this is a really exciting time that we have a majority of you have the time right now because for majority of us, it's your off season. It's not going to be my on season. So I got to like adapt this. I got 2 weeks to adapt what I'm going to be doing for 2026 before we go from 100,000 people to 300,000 people overnight living here on our roads. A 20
Yeah.
minute drive becomes 45 minutes. So we have to like adapt. So it's like our team right now, we're in this training mode and we're like, boom, 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 let's get it done so that we can hit the ground running because I've been time blocking all of our social media. So I do it all in a 1 hour for the entire week. And then at the end of the day, we make sure, and I'm like, okay, do I have any extra time so that I could do the following week? I want to get to where I do a month at a time. And it's like, here's the social media for the whole team for the month, right? Because otherwise, I'm chasing my tail every day. And when I do my social media posts, I'm scheduling them on my Meta for Instagram and Facebook. And then I'm also scheduling at the same time um, on LinkedIn. And then you could also schedule on Google Pages, your business page for posts. Don't forget about that because that helps your algorithm as well. And if you need some help with that, I also use experience.com, which is an app for real estate agents, and it helps to boost your algorithm on your SEO and your AEO. And there's a free online tool version that you can use of that. So maybe I'll have that lady come on to talk about that for us, because as we're doing what we're doing in the senior niche, our bios, everything has to reflect what we're doing for our business so that when someone goes on their phone, hey, Chatty G, who is the best senior real estate specialist to use in Louisiana? Heather Gorney comes up. And we talked about this before,
Yeah.
but it all has to match and be consistent. And it was, I know I'll leave you all with this. We went over a little bit. I just did a presentation with an AI company they wanted to come and pitch to all of us. And I've been teaching you all this since the fall. And he did a audit of my business online, my AEO, my SEO, all the things, right? For everything. And he's like, oh, you don't need my help. And I was like, I don't. And he's like, no, you did everything. He's like, I don't have anything to help you with. And I was
Wow.
like, yeah, I get it. But it's like,
Yeah.
we have to, as coaches, I have to continually grow and learn so that the things that are happening, so that you all can learn.
Yeah. I met with someone, a sales rep called me. I happened to have time. I'm like, give me your pitch. The company was Ogvo, Oggvo, and they help you raise your organic reach.
Mhm.
Help you optimize your Google business profile and stuff like that. Sounded amazing, but it's not cheap. So
No.
I'm working with our IT guy at our office because I know that I can probably automate some of the things that they were gonna take care of. Because it
Yeah.
was $250 a month or 1,000 for the whole year.
Oh, no, no, no. The one that I met with was
Yeah.
7,500.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, for what?
Right. So part of me was thinking, 1,000 for a whole year. I mean, 250 a month, see, but 1,000 for a whole year if I can really get, ranked higher. But like I said, I talked with the IT guy and he goes,
Yes.
they probably have 18 steps in the process and I can probably help you automate 9 of those. So
Yes.
let's do that instead.
So this is going to give me a great idea. We should do a one-off outside of the LFG masterclass in January. What do you all think about this? On how I have fixed my SEO
Yeah.
and AEO for my business to consistently come up organically in my AI and my SEO searches. And I should
Yes.
do that for you
Yes.
all. We've done this in bits and pieces
Yeah. But
over
having
the
it all.
past quarter, but we
Mhm.
should do one class, a blueprint on that.
hmm So my biggest challenge is I cannot get my Google business profile verified. I've tried at
Hey, I
least a
have the
dozen
same
times.
issue. Okay, all of a sudden I have the same issue. It's new. I now have to get re-verified.
I have a
And
solution. If you don't have
yeah,
an office, you have to make a very, very, very quick video. And
yep,
the best way to do it is to take, if you have an LLC, you have your paperwork. You need to print your
yep,
paperwork out. You need to
yep,
print or get one of your business cards, like anything
Yep,
that you have
did
that is
that.
print material, put all of it spread out on your desk in your office. And then you need to take a video of your office, and then you need to scoot boots out your front door so that you can
Did
take a
that.
video outside.
I've done all of that. I even when it got failed the first time, I thought maybe I don't have enough stuff. So I literally brought for sale signs in that had
Right.
my name and phone number on. I printed out my license, with my licensing number on it. I went outside to show the building so you could see the logo on it. I've done it all. I've done it at least a dozen times and I can't get it to work.
Cindy,
I
So I
yeah.
have the
Cindy,
same issue happening. And I have a contact. Her name is Laura. I'm going to be talking to her to see how she can help. So maybe we'll have a solution prior to this. And if anyone else
Amazing.
is having it, just shoot me a message on Facebook because we're running over and I have 11 o'clock CEU to get to. I got to go to the restroom in between. Sorry, guys.
Hey,
And
that would be amazing.
yes, and we'll try and get it fixed because all of a sudden mine needs to be re-verified when I re-verified like years ago. And I
Mhm.
went through all of this. So we're going to see how we can fix it for you, but it is an issue.
Mhm.
And I get pretty good Google analytics. So I was not too happy when that
Hmm.
happened.
Oh, that
All
makes
right,
me
my friend. So
nervous.
we'll talk about, so leaving here, we may not have another we're going to see about Christmas Eve for LFG call. How many of you would come to a Christmas Eve LFG call?
I'm probably
I
going
don't
to
know.
be on a train.
I'm going to be, I'm going to be,
I'm
yeah,
likely
I'm
to
going
be
to
on
be,
a train downstate,
yeah.
two
And
downstate.
then New Year's Eve morning, would y'all be on that too? Because I don't want to come on
That
and
one's
you're not.
better.
That one's better. I
Yeah,
think that one's
that
better.
one.
All right, so we'll do a New Year's Eve one. By there, I will have the time for our masterclass. It'll be a separate masterclass for SEO and AEO. It's all the stuff we are talking about. We will have a class when Heather can train us on Sora training. Heather, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, and I think my suggestion would be to do that after you do the SEO and the AEO.
Yep. Yeah. So
Yep, good deal.
we'll meet separately on that. And then some Google My Business solutions. Verification issues.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a nice list, but I hope you all have a great day. If I don't see you all or speak with you all, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, you have a great time. We celebrate Christmas in our house in a big way, and my tree this year went up November 1st, which has never happened before. But you know what? My daughter wanted to put it up early, and I said, why not? So I just love my Christmas tree up, and I hope you all have a wonderful, magical time with you and your loved ones.
Same
I'll
to
talk to
you
you soon.
all.
Merry Christmas.
All
Take
right,
care.
Mary. Bye, everyone.